All good. So, hi everyone. I'm Sonia Ong, the Executive Director of Blue Education Australia. We've been around for the last 20 years here in Australia, helping students from all over the world come to study, work, and live in this country. Now, with me, we have Joe Neto. He is the Regional Recruitment Manager from Southern Cross University, and we are happy to collaborate with the university, who has 11 faculties to offer its programs to our students, from the arts, humanities, and social sciences to education and teaching to engineering and health sciences. So our focus today are the university's programs in the Sydney campus, the Perth campus, as well as the Melbourne campus. Now, the popular demand for some of its programs are the MBA, the Master of IT and Project Management program. So I'll pass it over to Joe to tell you more about this in his presentation shortly. Over to you, Joe.
Hello, Sonia. Hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here with you, Sonia, and you guys from Blue Education. Look, yes, as Sonia well said, it's Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. I will probably focus on those 3 international campuses, and I'll start my presentation now. And you guys, please feel free to stop me anytime you like. Okay? If you have any questions, just stop me as you go.
Sure.
I would like to give some updates in what we're doing in our recent changes and things that happens due to the COVID situation. Look, we recently introduced a course duration scholarship, which is a 25% scholarship throughout the 2 years or 3 years of the master's or bachelor course. I'll talk about this scholarship a bit more in details later on. Another good thing is that we are allowing offshore students to commence online session on session 2, because we did have a lot of students who traveled offshore in around February, March, and they couldn't come back. And some of the students who has already official offer or official confirmation of enrollment to commence in July, and due to the travel ban, they cannot commence. We are allowing those students to commence in July if they like, or they have the option as well to defer the enrollment, could be a good thing for offshore students want to come to Perth as soon as possible. As soon as the border is open, the students can come, but they won't miss out on any time. They have options to either defer the commencement or commence it online. Another update is the Duolingo accepted as an alternative for IELTS and PTE tests due to the social distance. I'm not sure if you guys heard of Duolingo, but Duolingo can be done online, and the students only need a camera, a private space, and a computer. So the test would cost $50 American dollars, and the students can try the test before they take the test. So they give an indication how well is the student English in case he doesn't have a valid IELTS or proficient tests.
Well, this is a lot cheaper than having to spend on the PTE and IELTS.
That's exactly right, and that's a really good option for students who doesn't have the time to sit for IELTS because of the social distancing, and they cannot book for an IELTS. So that's a really good option. I will share with you guys a table that tells exactly what the equivalence with IELTS and PTE later on. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick summary of those points, otherwise they're going to take too long. As I say, we will let students commence online in session 2, even if the student is offshore. For the students onshore, most likely, due to the social distancing, most likely the university will continue to deliver online in July, unless the restrictions lifted by the government. But the way I see, the university has prepared everything for the online delivery until further notice. A good thing is that it's a new environment for students. Sonia, if the students study online and then they never did before, it's a different experience. But we try to monitor the outcome. So we've been closely monitor all the international students to see whether they are passing, whether they are attending, whether they are submitting the assessment on time, and we are very happy with the performance. They are performing better than what we expected. So yeah, just to summarize, we will probably keep online until further notice from the government for July intake.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
All
that
right.
includes onshore and offshore students.
All right.
Okay, one good thing that I would like to share with you guys. Look, Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth campus. It's international campus. It's a very small campus. It's a bit different than the Southern Cross University Gold Coast campus, for example. Here, you're probably going to find more of international environments. It's like a small welcoming family. We probably have, let's say in Perth, we probably have 300 students. Most likely, we know our students by their names. So we will probably know who Kiki is, who Mini, Ben, whoever the student is, we'll probably know by the names. And they probably have the same feeling when they get to the lectures as well, because the lectures are quite small. And doing these personalized teaching and using their personalized teaching philosophy put as a number one for international student support in Australia. So that means students are happy that the way that we are handling their education. Okay, so those are types of services that we offer on a campus, but I will probably highlight career counselor, learner advisors, and the Career Edge program, which is an internship program for international students. Well, the career counselor can, it's dedicated for all international students to put in the right direction. You guys from Umbrella Education are great in doing this. I know you guys are really good because I always ask you questions, and I know that I know that you guys are very good on this. And we follow the same philosophy. We give personalized attention to say, look, this is the path that you need to go. The career counselor has a lot of network as well, and what she does is she brings people from the industry to talk to the students and say, look, this is how a corporate environment is. This is how you need to do to get a job. And they normally bring international students as well who works on the company to share their experience. So it's really, really important. We offer the career counselor service. Get it to check your resume, get it to do your check your LinkedIn profile, and get it to put it in the right direction, and take advantage of being a small campus as well. So this is a good thing. The learner advisor will run academic workshop for international students only. They will probably give you tips how to do your assessment, to plan for your assessment, to write referencing, to write essays. So if the student has a bit of academic difficulty, they will be more likely to be contacted by the learners advisors, and they will probably have this one-to-one attention with that person. And lately, the Career Edge program, which is an internship program that we offer to all international students free of costs. Okay, so after the students graduate, whether they're doing a bachelor of 3 years or a master's of 2 years, they have the opportunity to try their career. Okay, Career Edge, I'm sure that some of you heard about it. ReadyGrad is the company who helps us to place the students into companies for the internship placements. And so the internship is basically between 10 to 12 weeks. Normally is non-paid, but it's up to the employer. If the company wishes to pay the students, they can pay. But the great thing is that the Career Edge program, the students will be trained, and by the end of the third year, we expect the student to be ready for the workforce. And even
that's assuming that they're doing a degree program, a bachelor. What about the master's students?
Yes, if the student is doing a master's program, the Career Edge program will be compressed. They will probably have some boot camps in between, just to fast track the program. Okay, but they will cover exactly the same thing. The internship program is pretty much started from developing your soft skills, develop your personal branding, preparing for the interview. This is introductory. This is on year 1. On year 2, the student has already a contact with real work problem. So we get a company to give, let's say, if the student is from IT, an IT problem, so the students can work and provide a solution. On year 3, the student has already feedback, and that's where they'll be introduced to the company to to start the internship placement.
So in a way, it
So,
is a guaranteed placement, sort of a work
look,
opportunity for graduates. Is it guaranteed or you're selected
yeah,
from
look, we
a
cannot
group?
really say that's a
Okay.
guaranteed placement. It will be more a guaranteed training program.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty much guaranteed that they're all going
So
to
the
be
work
trained and all
placement,
going to have contact with the
sure,
employer.
sure. So the work
Uh,
placement still needs a lot of work from the student themselves. They've got to help
yes,
themselves. Right.
exactly.
Right.
And there will be, and because this company is based over East, there will be a lot of jobs over East as well that the students may not being keen to say, look, I don't want to go to Melbourne to do my internship. I prefer to do in Perth. So
Yeah.
they may have to wait a bit more until we find a company to place them.
Like I,
But it's yeah, exactly. But
right.
it is a good thing, and it's free for the students.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
the
it's
support program is free for the student, but the internship itself really requires the student to work towards it. I just wanted that to be
exactly
clear. Yeah. Okay.
is
All good. All right. Yeah.
exactly. And for you to have your place on the internship, ready grad, or ask you to complete all the modules and complete all the workshops. So
Yes.
you need to make sure that you are prepared and you pass all the criteria to
Mm-hmm.
be able to get your 10 to 12 weeks
Sure. All
internship.
right.
Okay,
All good.
but this is all uh, free, and it's all for international students.
Look, I mean, just for the benefit of others who've just joined in, so
Hmm.
we do favor working with Southern Cross University because, yes, it is rated to be Australia's one of the number one for international student support. The class sizes are very manageable. I mean, it's pretty daunting for a lot of the international students who've just come into a new country, new environment, new friends, new support system, and then they go into a lecture hall with hundreds of people. So even when they have a question to ask, they will feel shy, and they will be worried if that question is valid to be asked. So the class sizes are manageable, Joe. How many are there in a classroom?
Will be between 20 and 30 students.
Okay,
Will be
and then
very manageable.
right. What about the tutorial sessions? Are they smaller in size as well? Um,
Normally it's a bit smaller.
yep,
Normally would be around 10 to 12 students. It depends, and it depends on the unit.
yep, yep.
But most importantly is the lecture will probably know when the students are not learning or has
Following, yes.
yeah, because
Yep, yep.
the lectures are trained to understand that environment, because
Yes.
most of the lecture they teach it in big university and big campus as well. So they know that this is an international campus, this is a small environment, and they have that closer interaction with the students, which
Mhm.
helps a lot on the academic progress.
Sure, sure. Sounds good. And now with the Career Edge program, I think that's a really good initiative because why do we go to school? I mean, we want to equip ourselves with the knowledge, the skills, the qualifications, just to find a good job, to have a rewarding career. But if no one in Australia wants to give that student, that international student, the opportunity, then it's going to be very disheartening for those who are actually trying a new, sort of a new adventure to be here in Australia in a foreign land, just to come to school and hopefully to graduate and get a job or work experience in this country, right?
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
Sonia, and thanks for the feedback from you guys as well, because I remember the day that we invited Blue Education for the dialogue session,
yeah,
and you guys say, look, the students are not ready for the workplace, and then we started to realize, say, look, we deal only with international students. The international students probably want to know if they're going to be employable when they complete the degree. So they need to take this degree as investment. So we thought about, look, we need to do something for the students as well. And thanks to you guys for your feedback, we came up with this program as well. Say, look, we will give you academic skills, and we'll also look in your communication, your soft skills to be more employable, and we'll give you this contact pretty much with the employer.
yep, yep, yep.
So, yeah, thanks again, Sonia, for that.
Yeah, no problem. That's probably,
Um,
yeah. Great. I'll let you continue. Sorry.
yeah,
I've got to be
I was
conscious
just
of the time.
I was just going to go through the courses that we offer in Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth.
Hmm.
We eventually will put more courses in.
Hmm.
You know, it's the courses get popular for international students, we will starting to introduce more. But because our campus are pretty much only 3 years old, so that's how we are offering at this stage. So a PQP program, this program is quite important for a student who has not completed a bachelor degree, or the bachelor degree offshore are not equivalent to a bachelor degree in Australia. So the students can go, can do a PQP course and get to a master's degree after completing the PQP, 15 weeks of PQP course. Okay, so this is a pathway to a master's if the bachelor is not equivalent to an Australian bachelor degree. And then we start from diploma business up to a master business. Okay, so just to tell you, the diploma business is the first year of the Bachelor of Business. It's a pathway for a Bachelor of Business, and even for the Bachelor of IT. Okay. A graduate diploma business is the first year of a Master's of Business Administration. I just would like to say, when people ask, are your Masters executive or not executive? Because it's for international students, it's not executive. So the students does not need work experience to go to any of those Masters. Okay, so the students only need to have a bachelor degree. If they don't have a bachelor degree, they can do it through work experience.
Right.
5 years of valid work experience, they can go to a bachelor, to a master's degree. The only two observation that I have to tell you is about the Masters of Information Technology and Masters of Engineering Management. Okay, those two masters, we need the student to have cognate qualification. That means we need the student to come from engineering background, had a bachelor of engineering or a bachelor of IT.
IT, okay.
Yeah. In that case, work experience also
counts.
works. Yeah, also counts.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, and all the masters program are 2 years. Bachelor programs are 3 years. Okay. We do have pathways as well that we can talk about later.
And here with the IELTS as a criteria, we can replace that with the Duolingo.
We can. I'm not sure exactly what the point is.
Yep, sure.
But I can share the table with you guys. But yeah, but it can be replaced with it. IELTS are equivalent. We will accept any valid tests like TOEFL, IELTS, Cambridge, PTE, and Duolingo now.
Sure. Okay, cool.
Okay. So and that fee is pretty much an annual fee without the scholarship. The fee with the scholarship is on the next slide. So this is a fee breakdown with 25% scholarship. Okay, because we have a trimester intake, we break down the fees in 3 trimesters. Okay, let's say for a master's program, session 1, let's say March. Let's start from July with session 2. A master's program would cost the students 9,112 instead of 12,150. So it's a 25% reduction on the fee. To make it clear, when the students are on university level, they only pay for the units that they study. That's why you can see the difference between session 3 and session 2, whether the students study 3 units or 2 units. So that's where the difference goes. But we need the students to study 8 units per year. We just break it down in 3 intakes. I know some people say, look, what's the advantage of having trimester instead of semester? Well, we give you the students a bit of flexibility on a deposit, on a payment. Okay, the students doesn't need to come up with the full amount with 4 units in one go. They can pay 3 units and they can pay 2 units. They give you flexibility to work and study, which is really good for the students, because those units can be distributed throughout the week. So and also give the students a more time to focus on a specific units. Let's say if the students are studying 2 units, it's only 2 final assessments, only 2 projects that they need to do. You know what I mean? So it gives a bit more of focus on the specific units rather than having to worry about 3 different units in one go, 4 different units in one go.
Yep.
Does it make sense?
Yep, sure. Sounds good.
Just to give a bit of introduction of the new scholarship. It's a 25% scholarship for the whole duration. Okay, we only ask on the first year is unconditional. The students will have the 25% discount every time that they enroll. Okay, on the second year, we need the student to keep a GPA of 3.5 and above, which is nothing difficult, believe me. A pass mark for a GPA is 4. So if a student has GPA of 4, that means he passed the unit with pass mark, with 50% mark. So
Okay.
3.4 is even below the pass mark.
Oh,
So it's very doable for the students. We just want to make sure that the students, deserve those things and are not penalized if they fail one unit or two. You know what I mean? So uh, they still gonna get the advantage even if they fail one unit.
oh, very
So
generous.
and most importantly, this is a scholarship for new students and for current students. So
Okay.
all students can apply for this scholarship.
That's good.
And if you put in dollar amount, it's a potential saving of 22,000 for 3 years course.
Yep.
And for a master's degree, it's a potential saving of 16,000.
That's a lot
And
of money.
it is a lot of money and give us put in a good situation to be with the scholarship, to be one of the most uh, public university, most affordable public university at this moment.
That's good to know. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have a two testimonial to share with you guys from students that we helped to get internship through our career edge program. If you don't mind, can I play that?
Sure, sure.
It's just really quick.
The sound is probably a little bit distant.
Oh, you cannot hear?
No, we can't hear it from our end.
Okay, just one.
That's okay. What you can do, Joe, is to send me, that video. Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm gonna play that again.
No, can't hear you very well, Joe. So what
You
I'll
cannot
do?
hear very well.
Nah, you can send this testimonial video to us, and then when we're sharing this out live, we could play it side by side. All right.
Okay, yeah,
All right. So
not a problem.
there are a few questions coming in from the floor. I've got a question here.
I will stop I will stop sharing my screen so we can see each other.
Yeah, sure.
Is that okay?
Yep, that's not a
Good,
problem.
good.
Yep. Yeah. Would anybody like to ask a question? Does anyone have a question?
Hi. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Right. I'm just a little bit confused with the trimester system. Can you go back to the slide and just explain it a little further?
Sure. Let me go back here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Look, the trimester model. Look, the university can either choose to run semester model or trimester model, but the same time the students need to study 8 units, okay, in per year. Okay, the annual. When you see the annual 8, that means 8 units per year. Having trimester model, we have 3 intakes. Intakes in March, July, and November. The intakes are a bit shorter. There is the benefit is that you get a bit of flexibility during the trimester, having only 3 or 2 units. The downside is when you get to November, you probably have a class until February with the break in December, maybe 3-4 weeks break in December. So when you have a semester model, you have the long break from this, December, January, and we start in February. And with the trimester model, we don't have the long break. We have breaks between the terms. Let's say from March to July, you have like 3 or 4 weeks break. From July to November, you have another 3 weeks break. And then in December, you have another 3 to 4 weeks break. So we just divided the year in three, but giving less units per session, divided into three
Yeah.
or two, but total of 8 units.
Yeah, so when you're an international student, you're bound by the restrictions, or how should I put it, the policies that come with you and your responsibilities holding the student visa. So ideally, you should be completing 8 units in a year. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. This
Yes.
is a full-time study load
Time. Yes, that's right.
to
So
comply with the visa condition. Yes.
that's right. That's your full load. Now, with that, you're supposed to then, in a traditional sense, you're supposed to finish 4 and 4, so 8 altogether. But if you split out into 3 semesters, you're just spreading out your load, and that is hopefully something more manageable for
That's
the student.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Sonia. And we found out that having a lower load,
Hmm.
the students get better marks. So this is one of the reason that we kept trimester intake. And as well, that the most of the students that at least that we have, they have a part-time job, they work, and they want that flexibility.
Yeah.
So we have more options to divide the timetable, to assign a timetable that gives the students more flexibility.
Yep.
So
I've got a
those are,
question. Yeah, I've got a
yeah.
question from the floor. 75% workload is still full-time, isn't it? How should we address this? I normally don't encourage my students to go for a 75% load, because then you'll set the original timeline you've already set with your student visa, then you have to apply for an extension for just a short time frame. It's going to upset the whole plan, okay? So try not to get down that path.
That's exactly right, Sonia. It does like interfere in the duration of your course, especially, because
Yeah.
your course is designed for 2 years.
Mm.
And yeah, if you have a reduced load, you probably need to extend your visa. You're correct. That's a very good explanation.
Yeah, yeah. And are there any more questions from the floor?
Yes, I've got a question.
Yes.
With COVID-19, what are the initiatives that SU is taking to help the students financially?
Yes, look, financially speaking, we did introduce the 25% scholarship even to the existing students. There was a
Yes.
big help. So we do have a lot of students who are already in this scholarship for July intake. We also had we put a department together for students to offer them a flexible payment options.
Yeah.
If they have financial hardship, they come in contact with one of the girls from the student support, and that person will probably discuss with the students a plan that the students won't be affected financially, and it won't affect their studies. So they're just pretty much gonna create a flexible payment plan and with the students. So this is financially, but also we had to make sure that all the students has all the resources to be study online. And when I say resources, I'm talking about computers, internet connections, all everything that the students will need to do the transition. We put it in place. Professionals to follow up with the students. The students are constantly monitored and called to just to talk about the experience online and to see just offering extra support. It's a new thing for everybody, even for the universities, but we did manage it quite well, and we are happy with the outcome that we got. So we getting survey, we're getting feedback from the students.
Right.
At this stage, we are doing quite well, and managing quite well. And not only this, we still have all 6 campuses. They're all open.
Yes.
So the students have the option to come to the campus to get extra support if they like. Of course, maintaining the social distance. But the academic teams are reduced. They are here in different days. All the students are informed, but they can come any day that they like.
Okay, so are the classes still online, or?
Yeah, the classes are still online, but all the campuses are open for
Okay.
student support, or if the students need to use library or anything that they need.
All right. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Perhaps we do have time for just one more question, and this adds on to the earlier question about the 75% workload. Arvinder has a question. If you had to extend the student visa, and because you've sort of completed short of that few units, will you add an extra semester or a year into the overall program?
Is this question for me, Sonia?
Yes, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah. No, look, if the students need to complete another 2 or 3 units, yes, there will be an extra session, but the students need to be aware that some of the units run in that specific session.
So maybe in the
the students need
specific
to be
semester. Yeah.
Yeah, the student need to be very careful, because let's say if the students only need to do 2 units, but 1 unit is only runs in July and another unit in November, so they cannot take the 2 units in one go. They need to take one in July and one in November to finish the studies. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not advisable. And also, look, if the students reduce the study loads for a compelling reason, it can be approved. But if it's not a compelling reason, for the scholarship part, the students may lose the scholarship as well. So the students need to comply with a few conditions. There's not many conditions, but one of the conditions is to continue with the study load initially given, unless approved otherwise. So if anything happens, they can get approval from the academic team, say, look, I need to reduce my study load because of this. This is approved, and that won't affect the scholarship.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
So we're a little bit over the time, but that's okay. We've recorded this session for those of you who've just joined us, if you've missed the majority part of the session. So we're going to play it on some of our social media platforms. We'll share it to you. We can send it to you as well, the link. If you guys have further questions for myself or for the team here at Blue Education or Joe, you can drop us an email at info@blueeducation.com.au. All right. So thank you, everyone, for your time, and all the best. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Bye.